Today is Tuesday, March 2nd, 2021, and our I Can says I can multiply a whole number by a mixed number. All right, so we're going to start out with some examples like we did yesterday, just to feel comfortable and familiar with what we're doing. And then we have 4 new examples to do today. So let's start with one like yesterday's. Here's our review. If I was going to take 3 wholes and multiply it by 2/3, what would I come up with? 3 wholes times 2/3. I have some choices. I could, of course, do repeated addition for those of you who would prefer me write it 3 times. And I would get 6/3. Or I could just multiply 3 times 2, and that gives me 6/3. And 6 divided by 3, of course, at the end of the day, we know that that simplifies. All right. Well, watch. I know that I can also represent this using algebra, right? Any number that I want, I'm going to give it a big N. The N is for my big number. And my fraction, we're going to call it A over B. Now the rule is any number that you want times A over B will give us our answer. I had to multiply 3 times 2. So using these, I would have to multiply N times A. And it would say that N times A over B. And that's how I solve all of these problems. So what if I wanted to do 2 times 9/6? Well, following my rule, N times A over B, I'm going to do my big number times my numerator. 2 times 9, that gives me 18/6, which I know simplifies. 18 divided by 6 would give me 3. 6 divided by 3 would give me 2. Okay, it's mostly a review of what we did yesterday. Today we're going to be multiplying a whole number by a mixed number. So let's just say that I had invited 5 of my hardest working friends to go out for pizza. So I'm going to have, here's question number 1. I'm going to have 5 friends, and we're going out for pizza. And I'm going to say that everybody wants to have 2 2/3 slices of pizza. Now remember, we're getting Jets Pizza because it comes in a square. We don't ever want to do circles. So here we go. I have my 5 hardworking friends. Friend number 1, friend number 2, friend number 3, friend number 4, and friend number 5. These are my 5 friends. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you ever get stuck on what to do, draw a picture. And I know that each friend is going to eat 2 2/3. So I have 2 2/3 here. 2 2/3 on this person's plate, 2 2/3 on this person's plate, 2 2/3 on this person's plate, and 2 2/3 on the last friend's plate. So what could I do? Sure, I could just add them together. I could pretend that they were all stacked nicely together. 2/3 plus 2/3 plus 2/3 plus 2/3 plus 2/3. 10. That would give me 10/3. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That would give me 10 wholes and 10/3. And of course, we're hearing bells. Miss Kirsten, you can't leave 10 wholes and 10/3. It's improper. It looks terrible. So we make a number bond for 10/3. Now, if it's 10/3, how much do I have to take out to equal 1 whole chocolate bar? How many thirds equal 1 chocolate bar? 3/3. 3/3 plus 3/3, that's only 6/3. Plus 3/3 more, that's 9/3. Plus 1/3 more. Well, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, and I've got 1/3 left. So now I have 3 and 1/3. I renamed this, but don't forget about my 10. What's 10 plus 3 and 1/3? my answer would be 13 1/3. This is one way to do it. If you like the repeated addition way, you are welcome to do that every time if you want. That's not my favorite way. If I have five friends, if I have 5 friends and each person is going to eat 2 2/3 slices of pizza, I'm going to use what's called the distributive property, and I'm going to pass out the 5 to the 2, and I'm going to pass out the 5 to the 2/3. And I'm just going to multiply twice. 5 times 2, that gives me 10. 5 times 2/3 gives me 10/3. And this is what I had right there. So it looks like I'm on the right track, right? But I can't leave 10/3. So of course I would make my number bond. I'm going to take out 3/3 as many times as I can. 3/3 plus 3/3 plus 3/3, that's 9/3. I need one more third. So I have 10. It's an extra 1, an extra 1, an extra 1, and still 1/3. So let me count these guys up. I've got 10, 11, 12, 13, and 1/3. So if you choose to distribute, you can do that. If you prefer to add, you can do that. But either way, we need our answer to be a proper fraction. 1/3 is an acceptable answer. 10/3 is not. It looks terribly improper. All right, I'm going to the back of the page for number 2. Remember, just 4 examples. Here's number 2. Sharpen my pencil so it's a little bit nicer. All right. Parlina exercises. We'll say she runs, it's shorter. Parlina runs 2 4/5 of an hour every day. Holy macaroni, Parlina. She only runs during the school week. Now remember, when we talk about a school week, that's the same as a work week or a business week, but it's not the same as just saying 1 week. If you go on vacation for 1 week, we're going for 7 days. But if you're only exercising during the school week, or you're only doing extra math on your days during the school week, we're only doing it for 5 days. So I'm going to take 5 wholes, and I'm going to multiply by 2 wholes and 4/5. And I know I need to distribute 2 times. I'm going to give the 5 to the 2, and I'm going to give the 5 to the 4/5. 5 times 2 gives me 10. 5 times 2. 5 times 4/5 gives me 20/5. Uh-oh. Just doesn't look right, does it? Let's take our 20/5 and make a number bond. How many fifths do I need to take out to equal 1 whole chocolate bar? 5/5. So 5/5 plus 5/5 plus 5/5. So that's only 15. I need another one. Plus 5/5. There we go. Now I can cross this one off because I've renamed it down below. We're going to cross that one off. That's equal to 1 whole. That's equal to 1 whole. That's equal to 1 whole. And that's equal to 1 whole. So now let me count them up. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. How many hours does she run every week? She runs for 14 hours a week. It's lots of running, my friend Parlena. All right. So let's try another. Here's number 3. I bet you're getting the hang of these. These are not terribly hard. Miss Armstrong is making a recipe at her house. And her recipe calls for 2 1/3 cups of chocolate chips. Well, Miss Armstrong is being so sweet, she's going to triple the recipe so that she can bring us some of her cookies. All right, triple the recipe. I could see some people saying, Miss Kirsten, I can't do this one. There's only one number. Only 2 1/3. There's nothing to do to it. It's true, they tried to trick you. Sometimes they use the word double, and if you hear double, you need to do times 2. But if you hear the word triple, see the prefix try? Try means 3. I need to do times 3. So I'm going to take 3 wholes, and I'm going to multiply it by 2 1/3. A too fast 4th grader would say 6 1/3. I can do it in my head, Miss Kirsten. I don't need to write all that. Do not be a too fast 4th grader. We need to pass it out so that everybody gets some of the 3. So I'm going to do 2 times 3, and I'm going to do 3 times 1/3. So let's see here. 3 times 2, that gives me 6. 3 times 1/3 gives me 3/3. Oh, I remember seeing ones like this. Remember when we were renaming our pizzas, but we couldn't say a certain number? 6 wholes and 3/3 of another one. This 3/3 is the same as having 1 whole. So what is 6 plus 1 whole? 7. So Miss Armstrong would need 7 cups of chocolate chips. All right, last one. Number 4. 8 kids are going outside for some extra recess. Each one is going to bring, each brings 3 wholes and 1/6 bottles of water. They like to stay very hydrated. Lots of water drinking outside at recess. So 8 kids are going out to extra recess. Each kid is bringing 3 1/6 bottle of water with them. How many bottles of water will be outside? Well, I'm going to take 8 and I'm going to multiply it by 3 wholes and 1/6. A too fast 4th grader would say 24 1/6. And I would say, you were a too fast 4th grader. Take your time. We have to distribute the number. Everybody gets a turn with the 8. 8 times 3. And I'm going to distribute 8 times 1/6. 8 times 3 gives me 24. 8 times 1/6 gives me 8/6. Uh-oh, it's improper. I'm going to rewrite it up here. Right now I have 24 8/6. I can't leave 8/6. So I'm going to make a number bond. And I have to think to myself, how many 6ths should I take out to make 1 whole chocolate bar? 6/6. 6/6 plus 2/6. That'll equal 8/6. So I can cross this one off. Now let's see if I can rename any. 6/6 equals 1 whole. 2/6 still stays 2/6. So 24 plus 1 more gives me 25 and 2/6 water bottles. And that is how we multiply whole numbers times a mixed number. So that's what we're going to be practicing today. Please take your time, use your notes, and make sure you have no improper fractions with your answers, okay? Have a good day.